Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we shall learn the Cauchy's inequality. In previous sessions, we have discussed many inequalities which will be used in complex analysis. In this video, we shall learn one more inequality which is given by Cauchy. So it is the Cauchy's inequality. It states that if a1, a2, an, b1, b2, bn are complex numbers, then modulus of summation ai bi whole square is less than or equal to summation modulus of ai whole square into summation modulus of bi whole square. So to prove this Cauchy's inequality, we have three methods. We can prove this Cauchy's inequality in three different methods. We shall discuss all those three methods in this video. Right? The first method, so the first method of proving Cauchy's inequality is by using Lagrange's identity. So by Lagrange's identity, we have summation ai bi modulus whole square I running from 1 to n is equal to summation modulus of ai whole square I running from 1 to n into summation modulus bi whole square I running from 1 to n minus summation modulus ai bj bar minus aj bi bar modulus whole square I greater than or equal to 1, less than j, less than or equal to n. This is the Lagrange's identity. In the Lagrange's identity, this term, consider this term. So each term is non-negative. So this whole sum will be non-negative. So this whole sum will be non-negative. It will be greater than or equal to 0. Now observe the right hand side. In the right hand side, what we are doing, we are subtracting. We are subtracting a non-negative quantity from this number. So this difference will be obviously less than or equal to the actual number. That means, so if you have 3, if you remove a non-negative quantity, so it will be obviously less than or equal to the original number. So here also the same thing. So from this number, we are removing a non-negative quantity. It is not negative. So minus of that will be, so this minus this will be less than or equal to this number. So if this number is 0, then this difference will be equal to this. And if this number is positive, so you are removing or subtracting a positive number from this number. So which will be less than or equal to the original number. So this step will be, then, or note that summation ai bj bar minus aj bi bar modulus whole square 1 less than or equal to I, less than j, less than or equal to m. So you can observe that this summation is greater than or equal to 0. It is a non-negative quantity. It is either 0 or positive number. So if you are removing or subtracting a non-negative number from the given number, then the difference will be obviously less than or equal to the original number. So then, so the left hand side is summation ai bi modulus whole square, so which was actually equal to this difference, but this difference is less than or equal to the number summation modulus of ai whole square into summation modulus bi whole square I running from 1 to n. 1 to n. So which is nothing but the Cauchy's inequality. So this is the simplest method of getting Cauchy's inequality by Lagrange's identity. Just we have to observe that the right hand side difference is less than or equal to the first number. So which is nothing but the Cauchy's inequality. Cauchy's inequality. Now you can observe that left hand side is less than or equal to the right hand side. That means there are two possibilities. Either it could be less than or equal to. Now the question is when equality holds. That means when this number will be equal to this number. So and the answer is if this number is equal to 0. So for if this number is 0, then this number will be equal to this number. That means in that case equality holds in the Cauchy's inequality, right? So now we shall see. Now equality holds in the Cauchy's inequality. Cauchy's inequality if and only if this number is equal to 0. If and only if the summation of the non-negative terms is equal to 0. If this number is equal to 0, then this number will be equal to this number. That means equality holds in the Cauchy's inequality. Now this sum is 0 if and only if. So you are seeing that sum of non-negative terms is 0. So there are no negative terms at all. So terms are either 0 or positive. So sum of such terms is 0 means every term has to be 0. So which implies that modulus of ai bj bar minus aj bi bar modulus whole square. Each term of the summation has to be 0. So if I to say that each term, I have to consider all possible values of I and j. So 1 less than or equal to I, less than j, less than or equal to n. Now which is if and only if? Now we have square of some number is 0. So which is if and only if the number is 0 and the number is modulus of ai bj bar minus aj bi bar. So this number will be 0 for all possible I and j values. And one more thing here is, you know that modulus of some number is 0 if and only if the number is 0. The number is 0 and which is true for all possible values of I and j, and which is nothing but, so just I'll do some transformations here. So ai will be equal to aj by bj bar into bi bar, which is once again true for all I and j values. I and j values. So for all these possible I and j values, this equation holds. This equation holds. And you know how this condition runs. So for if I fix I is equal to 1, so the minimum value of I is 1 and j takes all possible values greater than I and less than or equal to n. So if I is equal to 1, so j should be greater than 1, right? So 2, 3 and the maximum value is n. Then so if I fix I is equal to 2, the next value of I will be 2 and for that corresponding j values will be 3, 4, so on n. Similarly, so the maximum value of I is, so j can take the maximum value n, but I should be less than j. So the maximum value is n minus 1. And for that case, j takes the only value n. J takes the only value n. So these are the values. These are the values. Now in this equation, so I'll fix I is equal to 1. I'll fix I is equal to 1. So if I fix I is equal to 1, j should run for all these values, right? So I'll fix I is equal to 1. So a1 is equal to, so j, first value for j is 2. So a2 by b2 bar into b1 bar, because I is equal to 1. So next j value. So I is fixed. So a1, a3 by b3 bar into once again b1 bar. So on. Last j value is a1 equal to an by bn bar into b1 bar. So these are the equations corresponding to these I and j values. So I'll do the same thing for second set of numbers. So here I have to fix I is equal to 2. So a is equal to 2, I is equal to 2, a2, j starts from 3. So a3 by b3 bar into b2 bar. Similarly, a2 is equal to a4 by b4 bar into b2 bar. So on. So a2 is equal to, maximum value is once again an. So an by bn bar into b2 bar. So repeat this. So we'll get some equations. Now observe the first set of equations. Observe the first set of equations. So for the first set of equations, so LHS is equal, so RHS has to be equal. So all these terms has to be equal. And in the RHS, B1 bar is common. So the remaining part. So all these terms has to be equal. All these terms has to be equal. So A2 by B2 bar, A3 by B3 bar, so on AN by BN bar. All has to be equal for I is equal to 1. So it will be a constant. It will be a constant value. So all these will be equal to. So A2 by B2 bar, A3 by B3 bar, so on AN by BN bar. So all these will be equal to some lambda. So this is for I is equal to 1. Now once again, so observe these set of equations for these values. Once again, for all these equations, LHS is equal, so has to be RHS, and in the RHS part, so these are common. So neglect those. So remaining part, so these fractions has to be equal. That is A3 by B3 bar has to be equal to A4 by B4 bar has to be equal to AN by BN bar. So if I go like this, so the fractions gets lesser and lesser. Here I have how many fractions? It has started from 2, ended by n. So here 3 to n. So here there are n minus 1 fractions, here n minus 2, so on. But all those fractions are the same, right here. So here A3 by B3 bar is already there, and it is equal to rest of the fractions already. And I am getting a lesser condition here. So from A3 by B3 bar it is starting, and it is equal to all the rest of the fractions. Next step, if I see the next step, it start from A4 by B4 bar, and it will be equal to rest of the fractions. So no need to consider all those fractions. It is enough to consider this condition. So as it holds for all I. So as I value becomes larger and larger, the fractions becomes lesser and lesser, right? The number of fraction becomes lesser and lesser, but all those will be included in the first case itself. And in that case, all the fractions are equal.
a2 by b2 bar, a3 by b3 bar, so on, an by bn bar. All these fractions are equal. That means as I varies over all possible values, actually these all fractions are constant. All these fractions are constant. That means as I and j varies over all these possibilities, you will get such equations. You will get all such equations. If you observe those equations, all these fractions will be equal. All these fractions will be nothing but one and the same. That means aj by bj bar is a constant. It is a constant for all I and for all j values. Here, for all j values, it is constant. And if I vary I, you will get same fractions itself. Same fractions. So you will get all those to be equal to some constant value. And you can take that some constant value to be anything, alpha, beta, lambda, anything. So if I take it lambda, then I can replace this aj by bj bar. As I and j vary, this represents a single value. So I can replace it by some constant, right?
So which is if and only if ai equals lambda into. So I'll take all such fractions which are constant to be lambda into bi bar. So once again,
so as I have removed j, so no need to write the condition for j, because for all j these are equal to lambda. So here it is enough if you write for the I condition, and lambda is nothing but aj by bj bar for all j values satisfying this condition. So for all j values and I values, so this fraction is nothing but lambda. So you can observe here. So equality holds in the Cauchy's inequality only whenever all ai's are scalar multiple of conjugates of bi's. So if this holds for the given complex numbers a1, a2, a1, a1, a2, an, b1, b2, bn, then obviously equality holds for such set of complex numbers in the Cauchy's inequality. So this just we have observed a particular case when equality holds, as there are two possibilities here, less than or equal to. So it is necessary, or it is a direct question when equality holds, and the answer is if ai's are scalar multiple of bi bar. So if this is true, then equality holds. So this is a first method of getting the Cauchy's inequality, where we have used the Lagrange's identity. Now the second method of proving Cauchy's inequality. So once again start with hypothesis. Hypothesis is a1, a2, an, b1, b2, bn are complex numbers. So these are the given complex numbers. Now for these complex numbers and for some constant value lambda, I will consider summation modulus of ai minus lambda bi bar whole square, I running from 1 to n. Now I will start with this non-negative value. As each term of this summation is non-negative, the sum will be non-negative, right? Because each term is modulus whole square. So it will be always greater than or equal to 0. So sum of non-negative terms is once again non-negative. That means this number is non-negative. So now I will start with this. Now this is equal to. Now use the identity modulus of z1 minus z2 whole square. The identity modulus of z1 minus z2 whole square is modulus of z1 whole square plus modulus of z2 whole square minus 2 into real part of z1 into z2 bar. So if I use that, so summation I running from 1 to n as it is. So inside the summation I expand this. So expansion of this is modulus of ai whole square plus modulus of lambda bi bar whole square minus 2 into real part of ai into lambda bi bar
whole bar.
Whole bar. So in the next step, so split the modular, split the summation. So summation modulus of ai whole square, I running from 1 to n. So we have summation of 3 terms. So split the summation for all the 3 terms. Plus. So actually I have to write summation of modulus of lambda bi bar whole square, right? So it is nothing but, so first of all, modulus of lambda bi bar means modulus of lambda into modulus of bi bar. So it's whole square, that's it. So I have modulus of whole square. So by identity, modulus of the product is product of the moduli. So square as it is. Once again, so square means a into b whole power m is a power m into b power m. Then modulus of bi bar is modulus of bi. So for pair of number and its conjugate, modulus values are equal. Moduli values are equal. So modulus of lambda bi bar whole square is modulus of lambda whole square into modulus of bi whole square. Bi whole square. So summation of modulus of lambda bi bar whole square is modulus of lambda whole square into summation modulus of bi whole square. So I have taken this term outside the summation as it is independent of the index I, minus, so summation of this term, right? So summation of minus 2 into real part of ai lambda bi bar whole bar. So it will be lambda bar into bi. So this is the term which I have to write. Now minus 2 is however constant. We can take it outside. So minus 2 into summation real part of lambda bar into ai bi. And we know that sum of the real parts is real part of the sum. So minus 2 into real part, minus 2 into real part of the sum. Real part of the sum lambda bar into ai bi. And further, as lambda bar is independent of the index I of the summation, we can take it outside the summation, but not outside the real part. So the third term will be minus 2 into real part of, so you can take it lambda bar outside the summation. So lambda bar into summation ai bi. ai bi. I running from 1 to n. So this is the simplification, right? So call this as star. Call this as star. And you can observe here, so lambda is, where lambda is any complex number. So for any complex number lambda, you can argue these steps. Now I'll take a particular value for lambda, and the value is summation ai bi, I running from 1 to n, divided by summation modulus of bi whole square. Summation modulus of bi whole square. So you can see it is a well-defined complex number. It is a well-defined complex number provided denominator is non-zero. Provided
summation modulus of bi whole square I running from 1 to n is non-zero. Non-zero. So if this number is non-zero, then only I can say it is a well-defined complex number. If denominator is equal to 0, then it will take infinite value. So it will not be a well-defined value. So if this number is non-zero, then I can define lambda in this way. And when this sum will be non-zero, so it is sum of modulus of bi whole square. So if modulus of bi whole square is not equal to 0 for at least one i, so you know modulus of bi whole square is always greater than or equal to 0. It is non-negative value. So if it is non-negative, it is not equal to 0 means it has to be positive, right? So if for at least one I value, term in this summation is 0. Positive means in that case this will be non-zero. This will be non-zero, and I may assume that. So I may assume that at least for one I, bi is non-zero. What happens if bi is 0 for all I? What happens if bi is 0 for all I? Then I can actually see that Cauchy's inequality holds directly, right? So what is Cauchy's inequality? Modulus of summation ai bi whole square I running from 1 to n actually less than or equal to summation modulus of ai whole square into summation modulus of bi whole square. Right? This is actually the Cauchy's inequality which we have to prove. Now, if at all bi's are equal to 0, so if I substitute that, so the left hand side will be 0 because 0 into anything is 0. So what are the terms here? It is modulus of summation ai bi. So that means terms are a1 b1 plus a2 b2 plus so on an bn. So these are the terms of this summation. So if I assume all bi's are 0, b1 will be 0, b2 will be 0, bn will be 0. So 0 into anything is 0, sum of zeros is 0, so the left hand side will be 0. Now come to the right hand side. So as all bi's are 0, this summation will be 0, so 0 into anything will be 0. So actually equality holds in the Cauchy's inequality. So no need to prove in that case, right? If you are starting with numbers a1 a2 an b1 b2 bn where all bi's are 0, then Cauchy's inequality holds trivially. No need to prove explicitly in that case. So we may assume at least one bi is non-zero without loss of generality. So if we assume like that, then obviously this number will be non-zero. So I can define complex number lambda in this way. So here, so this is under the assumption bi is non-zero for at least one I value. Under the assumption of this fact, this number will be non-zero, so lambda will be defined. For if bi's are 0 for all I, then the Cauchy's inequality holds trivially. So if all bi's are 0, so result holds trivially. So no need to argue in that case. So assume at least one bi is non-zero. With that assumption, this number will be non-zero, so lambda will be defined. Now consider equation star for that corresponding lambda value. Then so what will be this number? Summation modulus of ai whole square I running from 1 to n plus in place of lambda I'll take this value. So it will be modulus of summation ai bi I running from 1 to n divided by summation modulus of bi whole square I running from 1 to n whole square into summation modulus of bi whole square I running from 1 to n minus 2 into real part of lambda bar. That means this number bar. Summation ai bi I running from 1 to n into summation modulus of bi whole square I running from 1 to n. This number bar into this number as it is. That is summation ai bi I running from 1 to n. So this number as it is. And we started with this number, so which was equal to this, but this is greater than or equal to 0. So this number will be greater than or equal to 0. Now we shall simplify this step. Summation modulus of ai whole square as it is plus, so modulus of this fraction whole square is there. So it will be modulus of the numerator square divided by modulus of the denominator square. So modulus of the numerator square divided by modulus of the denominator square into what we have, summation modulus of bi square I running from 1 to n minus 2 times of real part of, so we have quotient of the conjugate, that is we have the form a by b whole bar. It is a bar by b bar. So it is summation ai bi I running from 1 to n bar divided by summation modulus of bi whole square I running from 1 to n bar into number summation ai bi I running from 1 to n. So this step is greater than or equal to 0. So then once again, first term as it is plus, so modulus of summation ai bi whole square I running from 1 to n divided by, so we have modulus of this number where this number is non-negative. So modulus of a non-negative number is itself, and we have square, so square retained as it is, into the number modulus of, summation modulus of bi whole square I running from 1 to n minus 2 times real part of, you can observe here, so this number modulus of summation ai bi into modulus of, summation ai bi into summation ai bi bar. That means if I take this as z, so here we have z bar. So z into z bar is modulus of z whole square. That is modulus of summation ai bi whole square divided by we have summation modulus of bi whole square bar. You can observe each term in the summation is modulus value, that is it is a real number. So sum of the real numbers is again real number. We have conjugate of a real number. Conjugate of a real number is itself. So it is summation modulus of bi whole square itself. Now, so this number is nothing but this number. So 1 times gets cancelled. So what will be remained with? So
This step is greater than or equal to 0 once again. So summation modulus of ai square, I running from 1 to n. So 1 times gets cancelled. So 1 times will be in denominator. So modulus summation ai bi whole square, I running from 1 to n divided by 1 time summation modulus of bi square, I running from 1 to n, minus 2 into real part of this number. And what is this number? So numerator is also modulus value, so it is a real number. Denominator, sum of real values, it is real. So this whole thing is a real number. Real part of a real number is itself, the number itself. So minus real part of this number is the number. It is modulus of summation ai bi whole square, I running from 1 to n divided by summation modulus of bi square, I running from 1 to n. Now plus 1 times of this number minus 2 times of the same number. So this is greater than or equal to 0. So summation modulus of ai whole square, I running from 1 to n. So plus 1 times minus 2 times, it will be minus 1 times. So modulus of summation ai bi whole square, I running from 1 to n divided by summation modulus of bi square, I running from 1 to n. So which is greater than or equal to 0. Now take this term, negative term, to the left hand side. So modulus of summation ai bi whole square divided by summation modulus of bi square, I running from 1 to n is less than or equal to summation modulus of ai whole square, I running from 1 to n. Now cross multiply this term, so which implies summation modulus of summation ai bi whole square is less than or equal to summation modulus of ai whole square into summation modulus of bi square. So we got the required inequality. So this is nothing but the Cauchy's inequality. Cauchy's inequality. Now once again the question arises when equality holds. As we discussed in the first method, equality holds if that summation is 0 in the Lagrange's identity. In the same way, here the equality holds when so we started with the number. We started with the number summation modulus of ai minus lambda bi bar whole square, I running from 1 to n. We started with this number and which was non-negative, and we simplified this so on up to this number, up to this. So which was greater than or equal to, as this number was greater than or equal to, in all the steps we got greater than or equal to. So if it was equal to 0, if the number which we started with was equal to 0, in all the steps we would have got equality. So here also we would have got equality. So equality holds in the Cauchy's inequality. So the necessary and sufficient condition here is, so equality holds if and only if the term or the number which we started with, that is summation modulus of ai minus lambda bi bar square is 0. But this is 0 if and only if sum of non-negative terms is 0, means all the terms has to be 0. Modulus of ai minus lambda bi bar whole square has to be equal to 0 for all I values. That means for all terms, all the terms are equal to 0. So square of some number is 0 if and only if the number is 0, and the number is
modulus of AI minus lambda bi bar. So it is equal to 0 for all I values, and which is if and only if, so modulus is 0 means if and only if the number, that is AI minus lambda bi bar, will be 0, which is true for all I values once again, and which is nothing but AI is equal to lambda bi bar for all I values. So once again we got the same condition. That means equality holds in the Cauchy's inequality provided AIs are scalar multiples of conjugates of BIs. So this is the second method of getting Cauchy's inequality, where we started with this quantity and we simplified it. We simplified it for any variable lambda, and finally taking some fixed value for lambda, we got the inequality. And equality holds if this is true, where lambda is any. Now the third method of proving Cauchy's inequality, which is by induction. So given a1, a2, an, b1, b2, bn are complex numbers, we have to prove this inequality. So as this inequality involves natural numbers, so we can apply induction. We shall prove this by the mathematical induction. So on the induction starts from the least value, n is equal to 1. So for n is equal to 1, so LHS, left hand side. So left hand side is modulus square of summation, where I runs from 1 to n. So if I put n is equal to 1, so the maximum value of I is 1. Starts with 1, ends with 1. So that means the summation will contain only one term. And what is that term? It is the first term, a1, b1. So its modulus square. Now the RHS, right hand side. Once again, this term contains summation I run from 1 to n. If I put n is equal to 1, summation starts from 1, ends with 1. So the summation contains only one term. What is that? It is modulus of a1 square into. Second summation also contains one term, and it is modulus of b1 square. So it is modulus of a1 b1 square. And you can observe that is LHS is equal to RHS, which means for the case n is equal to 1, Cauchy's inequality holds with the equality. Left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So therefore the result holds for the natural number n is equal to 1. So this is the result, and it is true in case of n is equal to 1 with the equality. Now induction assumption. Assume n is any natural number greater than 1, and that the result is true for the natural number n minus 1. So result is true for the natural number n minus 1 means you have to start with the numbers a1, a2, an minus 1, b1, b2, bn minus 1. Then this inequality will be true. That means the inequality will be true for n minus 1 complex numbers. And what is that result? It is modulus of summation ai bi whole square I running from 1 to n minus 1, which will be less than or equal to summation modulus of ai square I running from 1 to n minus 1 into summation modulus of bi square I running from 1 to n minus 1. So this is the result with respect to n minus 1, and which I have assumed. Now assuming for n minus 1, you have to prove the case for n. And now by this assumption, so I can rewrite this inequality as, so if I take this to the right hand side, so 0 will be remained here. So or I can write that as summation modulus of ai whole square I running from 1 to n minus 1 into summation modulus of bi square I running from 1 to n minus 1.
This term to the left means it will be minus of
summation, that is modulus of summation ai bi whole square I running from 1 to n minus 1.
And on the left hand side 0 will be remained. Now to prove the case for n, now to prove the result for n, we'll follow the same method. We shall prove that this number minus this number is non-negative. Then taking this term to the right hand side, you will get the required result. So we shall start with n minus modulus of summation ai bi square I running from 1 to n. Now we shall show that it is non-negative. Because so proving a number is non-negative takes less time, or it is easier to prove a number is non-negative. So to prove this inequality directly, so it will be little bit tough. So what we'll do is we'll consider this difference and we'll prove that it is greater than or equal to 0. So hence we'll get the required inequality. Right? Now this step is equal to, now you have to write this in terms of n minus 1, because you have to use the case n minus 1 in proving the case n. So express it in n minus 1. So the first term, so here we have summation modulus of a whole square I running from 1 to n actually. So just I'll take up to n minus 1. The nth term I'll write it outside the summation. This was the nth term, I am taken outside that summation. Similarly here also, summation modulus of bi square I running from 1 to actually n, but I am writing up to n minus 1 itself. So the nth term has to be outside the summation. So minus, here also the same thing, inside the modulus. So summation ai bi I running from 1 to n is there, just I'll write up to n minus 1, the nth term, last term separately. Now simplify this. This step is equal to, here we have product of these two terms, we shall multiply. So this number into this, then this number into this, then this into this number, this into this number. That is summation modulus ai square I running from 1 to n minus 1 into summation modulus bi square I running from 1 to n minus 1 plus this into this one. That is modulus of bn square into summation modulus ai square I running from 1 to n minus 1 plus this number into this modulus of an square into summation modulus bi square I running from 1 to n minus 1. Then finally this into this plus modulus of an square into modulus of bn square minus modulus of, it is of the form z1 plus z2 whole square. So it will be modulus of z1 square plus modulus of z2 square plus 2 into real part of z1 into z2. That means I am using the identity modulus of z1 plus z2 whole square. It is modulus of z1 square plus modulus of z2 square plus 2 into real part of z1 into z2 part. So this is z1, this is z2. So expansion will be modulus of z1 summation ai bi I running from 1 to n minus 1 square plus z2 whole square modulus of an bn whole square plus 2 into real part of z1 into z2 bar, that is summation ai bi I running from 1 to n minus 1 into z2 bar, that is an bn whole bar. Okay. Now this step is equal to so summation modulus of ai square I running from 1 to n minus 1 into summation modulus of bi square I running from 1 to n minus 1. So minus of this minus summation, that is modulus of summation ai bi square I running from 1 to n minus 1 plus modulus of an whole modulus of an square into modulus of bn square. It will be modulus of an bn whole square. Here minus of the same term minus modulus of an bn whole square plus modulus of bm square into summation modulus of ai square I running from 1 to n minus 1 plus modulus of an square into summation modulus of bi square I running from 1 to n minus 1, then remaining minus of this one minus 2 into real part of summation ai bi I running from 1 to n minus 1 into an bn whole bar. These are the terms. Now, by our assumption, so this difference is greater than or equal to 0. So this whole number will be this whole number will be greater than or equal to, so this is greater than or equal to 0, 0 plus all rest of the terms, it is that same term. So, and moreover this term gets cancelled, so this is greater than or equal to 0, greater than or equal to 0 plus rest of the terms, So 0 plus any terms are same. So the terms are modulus of bn square into summation modulus of ai square I running from 1 to n minus 1 plus modulus of an square into summation modulus of bi square I running from 1 to n minus 1 minus 2 into, so here real part of this number is there, so and the number is summation ai bi into an bn whole bar. An bn whole bar is a constant with respect to this summation, so take it inside. So first I can take it outside, ai bi into an bn bar. So this will be the single term, and we have real part of that. That means we have real part of the sum. It will be sum of the real part. So minus 2 into real part of the sum is sum of the real part. That is ai bi, an bn whole bar is there. I can split it, an bar into bn bar. I running from 1 to n minus 1. Now, so take this term inside, and minus 2 inside. So taking all that, so this step is equal to summation modulus of bn square into modulus of ai square I running from 1 to n minus 1 plus modulus of summation modulus of an square into modulus of bi square I running from 1 to n minus 1 minus summation 2 into real part of ai bi an bar into bn bar I running from 1 to n minus 1. So for all these terms summation is common, So we can combine the summation. So summation I running from 1 to n minus 1 of the terms. So first term is modulus of bn whole square into modulus of ai square plus modulus of an square into modulus of bi square minus 2 into real part of ai bi an bar bn bar. Now it is of the form, so you can combine this term. So actually I can write it as modulus of ai bn whole square. Here also I can write this as an bi whole square. So it is of the form modulus of z1 square plus modulus of z2 square minus 2 into real part of. So this number is there. So if you rearrange this in terms of z1 into z2 bar, then I can apply the formula modulus of z1 plus z2, modulus of z1 minus z2 whole square. This is, I can take it as z1, this as z2. So we have modulus of z1 square plus modulus of z2 square. If I have minus 2 into real part of z1 into z2 bar, then I can apply the identity modulus of z1 minus z2 whole square. So just have to rearrange these terms to get z1 into z2 bar. So here what I have, ai into bi, an bar into bn bar. So according to me, so I should get z1 to be this, right? So z1, that is ai into bn. So no bar is there, but here bar is there. So okay, we shall adjust later bn bar. Then an bar into bi. An bar into bi. So here this is z1, but bar is missing. Can I put the bar here? So here modulus of bn square is there. So it is equal to modulus of bn bar square. So in that case, I'll get the bar. So z1 is adjusted. Z1 is adjusted. But this has to be equal to z2 bar. Z2 bar. What is z2? So an bi. So its conjugate has to be equal to an bar bi. But if I simplify it, it will be an bar bi bar. But here bi has no bar. So if I put an extra bar to bi, so what it will be? It will be an bar into bi. So I will get z2 bar here. So just I am adjusting z1 and z2 bar. So for that I have to make some alterations here. As I have modulus here, so modulus of bn whole square is nothing but modulus of bn bar whole square. Here also I need an extra bar for bi, so that the second term would be z2 bar. So modulus of bi whole square is there. It will be nothing but modulus of bi bar whole square. So I can do that one. Then I can rearrange the terms here, right? So this step will be equal to summation. So modulus of bn. So I should get a bar here. So modulus of bn bar whole square into modulus ai square, I running from 1 to n minus 1, plus here also I need a extra bar for bi, so we can put that. So modulus of an square into modulus of bi bar square, because modulus of bi is nothing but modulus of bi bar, minus 2 into real part of. Here I'll adjust. How I'll adjust is, what is z1? Ai into bn bar. So ai into bn bar. It's ready. Into. So there has to be z2 bar. Z2 is what? An into bi bar. An into bi bar. So z2 bar, its conjugate will be an bar into bi. An bar into bi. So I can write it as an bi bar whole bar. Whole bar. Right? So now the last step. So this step is equal to summation I running from 1 to n minus 1, n minus 1. So I can combine this as modulus of ai bn bar whole square plus modulus of an bi bar whole square minus 2 into real part of ai bn bar into an bi bar whole bar, and it is nothing but modulus of ai bn bar minus an bi bar whole square. So it is the formula modulus of z1 minus z2 whole square. Modulus of z1 square plus modulus of z2 square minus 2 into real part of z1 into z2 bar. And this is nothing but greater than or equal to 0. And this step was equal to the first step. That was the result with respect to n, right? That is, we started with the number modulus of ai square I running from 1 to n into modulus of bi square I running from 1 to n minus modulus of summation ai bi whole square I running from 1 to n. So we started with this number, we simplified it, and we got this to be this number, and which is a non-negative number. So this will be non-negative number. So therefore, so take this to the right. So what I'll get, modulus summation ai bi whole square I running from 1 to n will be less than or equal to summation modulus of ai square I running from 1 to n into summation modulus bi square I running from 1 to n, and which is nothing but the required Cauchy's inequality. Cauchy's inequality for the natural number n. So we started with n is equal to 1 and assumed for n minus 1 and proved for n. So that is, the result is true for the natural number n under the assumption the result is true for n minus 1. So thus, by the principle of mathematical induction. So what does the principle of mathematical induction says? So if the result is true for the least value, and if n result is true for n minus 1 implies result is true for n, then the result has to be true for all natural numbers. So given any number of complex numbers ai's and bi's, this inequality holds. So just we shall conclude that thus by the principle of mathematical induction, we conclude that the result is true for all n. That means the result holds, that is the Cauchy's inequality holds for any natural number n, and which completes the proof. And this, in this third method, we arrived at the Cauchy's inequality using the simplest method, which is the mathematical induction. So just I'll conclude the video. In this video, we have proved the Cauchy's inequality. We proved the Cauchy's inequality in 3 methods. So first one is the Lagrange's identity. Using the Lagrange's identity, we derived the Cauchy's inequality. Secondly, it is an independent method, and thirdly we use the mathematical induction. Thank you.